Optimizing performance involves change. Applications change, workloads change, data grows. DBAs need to understand costs and benefits of making system changes in order to boost performance. So this demo shows how ADDM Spotlight can be used to quickly assess several different paths for improving database performance. Starting on the database homepage that I'm sure you're very familiar with, you can see the ADDM Spotlight link on the recommendations tile. You can also access ADDM Spotlight from the performance menu as well. I will click on the ADDM Spotlight link. The ADDM Spotlight page has tabs for findings, recommendations, database parameters. Findings are displayed by default. The summary timeline shows finding counts by category over the time period. For each finding name, the overall impact, maximum impact, and the frequency of occurrence is reported. Finding impacts in ADDM are measure of DB time, as you well know. The table is sorted by overall impact, as you can see here. The first thing I'm going to do is I will change the time period from 24 hours to 7 days. So here I go. I click on last 7 days. Now I'm looking at 7-day time period. So this view summarizes findings over 7 days. There are 167 different ADDM occurrences here. These aggregated findings are the key to ADDM Spotlight, turning tactical analysis into strategic insights. The chart can be overlaid with notable events by clicking on this Include Event Annotations checkbox. Small icons appear, as you can see here, over the timeline where instance restarts or parameter changes have occurred. By hovering on this icon, we share more details with you. We see that this is a routine change to the resource manager plan. When entering the maintenance window, see the regular occurrence of paired events when this parameter is both set and unset. Looks like there is a 4-hour maintenance window being used on this database. The summary timeline can be filtered by a finding category. So here I'm going to click on this and I'll see the different categories by which I can filter the events, the findings by, and I will pick top SQL. The timeline and table of findings are now filtered to only show findings by top SQL category. We see that the top SQL finding happens all the time, which is normal since findings are about DB time and SQL is responsible for most, if not all, of DB time typically. There are 38 recommendations for this finding seen in the rightmost column here. We'll click on this number to get more details. ADDM makes a separate recommendation for each SQL ID included in the top SQL finding. We see that tuning the very top SQL statement here results in a very large overall benefit, about 56%. Potentially half of all DB time can be saved by tuning this one SQL statement. The recommendation is to run the SQL Tuning Advisor, shown here, which is integrated with ADDM Spotlight. So we click here, we can run the SQL Tuning Advisor, and this will launch the SQL Tuning Advisor task. I want to actually run the advisor, which I'm sure you're very familiar with that. We'll cancel out of here and then go and look at the second set of findings. So the second finding is about commits and rollback. Let's drill down to see what ADDM has to say here. So here you can see that ADDM has two recommendations indicating same potential benefit of about 13%. You can achieve it one of two ways. Either you reduce the rate and size of commits or by improving the IO performance of redo logs. They have the same benefit because they are alternatives for affecting the same amount of DB time, but they have vastly different implementation constraints. One involves analyzing and modifying the application, whereas the second one is about changing your infrastructure to improve your IO throughput. ADDM Spotlight in this way is a great assistant in weighing the trade-offs of such widely differing strategies. If restructuring your app is more plausible for you, take that route. If you prefer the change to your ISS subsystem, that route can also produce a similar benefit. Recommendations and their associated rationales have considerable detail supporting their conclusions. The last one I will show is the third set of finding, which is top segments by user IO and cluster. There are 4 recommendations here. Here we see that the top 2 recommendations are similar concerning IO to different partitions of the orders table. Since these recommendations happen almost all the time, 162 out of 167 time, they are not intermittent and benefits will accrue consistently over time. The recommendation is to the segment advisor, which helps you defragment a fragmented partition. It also can help you reduce the size of the different partitions, which will help you improve the I/O characteristics of these particular segments and partitions. So we will close this and now go back to the top of the ADDM Spotlight page, and I'll just summarize here that, I hope I've given you an idea on how ADDM Spotlight works and how to use it. It really is designed to assess your workload behavior over longer time periods. It helps analyze performance trends and anomalies so you can take action that improves the overall performance of your database.